In this video, I'm going to talk about work. Now maybe you don't work, but there are still some useful phrases included in this video that would be good to learn for your IELTS exam. Where do you work? I work as a nurse and am employed in a hospital in my hometown. Do you think it is a good place to work? Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love my job, but the equipment in the hospital is quite dated, and this can make the job hard at times. Remember that the IELTS examiner is listening for a range of grammar, so using the passive am employed will add to your mark for grammatical range. Don't get me wrong, this is a very useful idiomatic expression for IELTS speaking, and it's when you don't want someone to misunderstand you. It is quite informal, so only use it in IELTS speaking. I absolutely love. Now, although love is quite a basic verb, similarly to I like or I don't like, by adding absolutely makes this a bit more complex and a stronger. I absolutely love. Dated. Something that is dated is old-fashioned or out of date. Why did you choose this job? I wanted to work in a profession where I could help people. Furthermore, I didn't want to do a desk job. I would be bored to tears if I had to do a 9-to-5 job. I like the variety in the job I do. No 2 days are the same. The question asks, why did you choose this job? And in the answer, the word profession has been used to show that the candidate has a wide range of vocabulary. Furthermore, remember that IELTS examiners are listening for discourse markers, linking words, for your cohesion and coherence grade. A desk job is a job that involves sitting at a desk, usually in an office. I would be bored to tears if I had to do. This is a great example of the second conditional, and it's used to describe an imaginary situation. There is excellent use of idiomatic language here, bored to tears, and it means extremely bored. We also use the expression bored to death. A 9-to-5 job. This is a regular job, usually in an office, that starts at 9 o'clock in the morning and finishes at 5 p.m. in the evening. The variety. This is having lots of different things in your job. What do you enjoy most about your job? As previously mentioned, no 2 days are the same, therefore boredom is something I don't suffer from in my job. I get to meet people from all walks of life, and even though there are sometimes days when it can be tough, often people leave the hospital feeling better, so I get a feeling of satisfaction that I've helped them. As previously mentioned, when you're going to repeat something or say something similar to what you've said before, this is a useful way to introduce it. People from all walks of life, this is like saying everybody, people from different social, economic and ethnic groups. Even though, this is a more formal way of saying although, and although speaking is more informal than writing, it's used here to show that the candidate knows more than just although. Tough is a very useful word for IELTS speaking, and it means difficult. A feeling of satisfaction. This is a good phrase to learn and can be used in IELTS writing as well, and it's when you feel good after doing something. Have you always wanted to do this job? When I was younger, I wanted to be a doctor, but the thought of studying for 7 years put me off. When I left school, I got a job in an office, but I quickly realised that I wasn't cut out for sitting behind a desk all day. So that was when I retrained as a nurse. I don't regret it for a second. Put me off. This means I started to dislike it, or I didn't want to do it for some reason. It was a thought of studying that put me off doing it. I wasn't cut out for. To be cut out for something means you have the right qualities for it. So if you're not cut out for it, you don't have the right qualities for this job or role. To retrain means to train again. I don't regret it for a second means I don't regret it at all. What training did you need to do for this job? My training lasted for 4 years. It was a combination of practical training on the job and study in the classroom. I've learnt most things actually doing the job though. I feel like I'm still learning every day because diseases change and new drugs are developed to combat them. A combination of is a mixture of different things. On the job, this is whilst doing the job. I'm still learning. Remember about grammatical range. You need a range of grammar. You can't just use the present simple or past simple, so remember to use continuous tenses. Combat is a verb which means fight. What are your work plans for the future? I would like to work in the UK, so that is why I'm taking IELTS in order to meet the requirements to work there. I understand there is a nursing shortage there. It has always been my dream to work in another country. If I get a job there, I will stay for about a decade and then hopefully return to my home country and use the skills I've obtained to get a top job back home. Another reminder to use the present continuous. A shortage means there is a lack of it. A food shortage, for example, a water shortage. There is a lack of food, there is a lack of water. In this case, a nursing shortage. There is a lack of nurses. A decade. Remember to refer to 10 years as a decade. A top job is a good job. Thank you for watching this video. And make sure that you do the quiz to remind yourself of the vocabulary that we have looked at in this lesson.